Hello and welcome back to the Odd Shopper YouTube channel. I'm Isaiah. I'm here to break down this weekend's action at Darlington. It's going to be a great race. Last weekend we had a little bit of a tough beat. We had Tyler Reddick, who got into Kyle Larson early, was looking good, was up front, and then just could never really recover from that incident. So that's frustrating, but whatever, we bounced back. We're going to talk a little bit about the race preview today. We're going to talk about how you can get your name on Zane Smith's truck, and we're going to talk about Odd Shopper Insider Access. It's going to be a fun video. Let's dive in. First up is the race preview. So it's the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway. Darlington, of course, the track too tough to tame, is a 1.4-mile rough intermediate. So there is a lot of tire wear here, and that means it's going to reward driver talent, and you're going to have to be able to manage your tires over the long run very effectively, or you're going to have to be able to conserve a set of sticker tires for a late race restart. So it could get quite interesting late in the going. Kansas Speedway, I think, is a solid comparator, especially after we saw how much tire wear happened there last weekend. These events were actually flipped in the scheduling order last year because NASCAR wants to keep this race on Mother's Day weekend. So what that means is that now we actually can access the Kansas data and use it as a predictive tool this year. Last year, 5 of the 7 drivers to record a driver rating of 90 or higher at Darlington also went on to do so at Kansas. So again, flip that order around. If you did that at Kansas, maybe you'll do the same at Darlington. That logic and reasoning will underpin some of my plays for this video. Now, of course, there were some exceptions. Number one, the winner of the Darlington race, Joey Logano, did not go on to have a great run at Kansas. And number two, the winner of the Darlington race, or the winner of the Kansas race, Kurt Busch, did not have a good run at Darlington the week before. So is it necessarily going to give us a winner? I don't think that's inherently, it's not a guarantee, it's not a lock, but it is still a very useful tool. So before we get into those picks, now that I've really inspired all of your confidence in them, we're going to talk about Tipico Sportsbook. So have you ever wanted to have your name on a Craftsman Truck Series truck? Well, now you can. You simply have to deposit at least $38, which is Zane Smith's number, at Tipico Sportsbook, and you'll get just that, plus $150 in bet credits. Smith will pilot the number 38 Tipico Ford at Mid-Ohio in July. You have to act fast because only the first 300 depositors will actually get to see their name on that number 38 truck. Also, another cool part of this promotion, the top 5 depositors, in total size deposited, of course, will get VIP passes to a truck event of their choice. So you won't be obligated to fly over to Mid-Ohio if, fortunately, you don't live in Ohio. You'll be able to go to the truck race nearest you. So for more details and disclaimers, check out the article in the description. We'll have more information below. Great. Now let me pull up the odds board and we can get into this. Our first pick, we're going to take the Melon Man himself, Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain ran well here last season. He led laps in both events, but he didn't quite get the results. However, he has gotten them before here. He finished P3 back in 2021 with Chip Ganassi Racing, which was all the more impressive because Chip Ganassi wasn't so good back then. He also kind of got one of his big breaks in the Xfinity Series here at Darlington. I think it was in the number 42 for Chip Ganassi as well, where he had a very good run going, and then he got into some late race trouble after he was running up front. But he essentially proved himself at Darlington, and it's similar tracks, and we can have some faith in him here. Further, he also ran very well at Kansas. He finished top 5 with a driver rating of 101.2. So over 100, that's a great sign for his performance this weekend at Darlington, especially given how much tire wear we saw at Kansas. So Chastain, the important thing to know with him is that he has the aggression necessary to steal the deal or to seal the deal. He'll either end up winning or he'll probably end up crashing out, or maybe not crashing out, but not getting the kind of finish that you want out of him. So I would recommend playing only Chastain's outrights. I wouldn't really recommend playing down for top 5, top 3s, or top 10s with him. We can get him at 11-1 outright at Tipico. That's still a solid deal. I like that number. I think that's what implied odds of less than 9%. I think that he wins this race maybe 10% of the time, just to talk out of my ass there a little bit. But Odd Shopper Insider Access, which I'll talk a little bit about later, it's the only way to get access to my full NASCAR betting cards. Got this at 12-1. So the number has trended down a little bit because sharp bettors have gotten some action on it, I think. Great. Second pick. Give me William Byron. So I've been waiting for this market to correct on Byron for weeks. The books have been pricing him pretty short most of the time. I think as a co-favorite or around there with Kyle Larson after his strong start to the year. However, he's fallen off a bit, not I think because of his equipment or because of his talent, just because of luck and the kind of tracks we were at. But I think Darlington is a great spot for him to bounce back, and because we're getting him at such long odds, I love him this weekend. He was dominant early this season. Not only that, but he was leading this race last season early before he got moved by Logano late in the event, and Logano took the win away from him, which is tough. But honestly, Byron moved Logano earlier in the race, and as a Team Penske fan, I kind of think Byron had it coming. However, he does have a much-deserved win here coming his way eventually at Darlington. So I'm going to back him this weekend at the current price. We're getting plus 950 at Tipico. We can get a 10-1 at BetMGM. And of course, you're probably wondering how he did at Kansas, considering how much I hyped that up. Well, he finished third with a driver rating of 108.1. So yeah, he ran pretty damn well at Kansas. I'm willing to back him here. Before we get into our long shot, because we always have to have a long shot for a NASCAR race, I want to talk about Odd Shopper Insider Access. It is the only way you can gain access to my full NASCAR betting cards. This weekend, we have 6 outrights, and we have a few props as well. The props story is actually up on oddshopper.com already, but I will not be posting or sharing the entire outright card except through Insider Access. The article has one extra outright play if you're looking for some more exposure. But yeah, for the other 2 picks, you're going to have to hop in the Discord. So what is OddsShopper Insider Access? Well, it is the way you can gain access to our betting experts in real time via a premium Discord. You get live bets, you get office hours, you get my betting models during the NFL season. And guess what? You can also get your first week of access for 50% off. And after that, it's just $19.95. So pro tip, sign up for it, getting your first week discounted. Follow all of our bets, make some money, use that money to then pay for a continued membership, and voila, you're in the green. So that's my secret tip for success here, is use Insider Access to pay for Insider Access and, a few other things. Cool. Last pick. He's going to be way, 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 way down the odds board, actually. He's down here at 200 to 1. Let me click on him here so you can see him a bit clearer. Noah Gragson. So why the heck are we taking a guy at 200 to 1? Why am I touting a guy at 200 to 1? The same odds as, do they have, they don't, oh, they do have BJ McLeod. The guy with the same odds as BJ McLeod. Why on earth, Isaiah, are you touting some guy with odds this long? Well, let me tell you. So Gragson has the same number of Xfinity Series Darlington wins, which is 2, as such Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers as Kyle Busch, Dale Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. More impressively, though, Gragson only needed 7 starts to get those wins, which is fewer than what Kyle Busch, Dale Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip all have in total starts at Darlington. So, man has been very efficient. So that's why we're going to back that's why we're going to back Gragson here. But there's a couple of other reasons. Number one, sure, the Petty. Oh, it's not Petty GMS anymore. It's actually Legacy Motor Club. Sure, his Legacy Motor Club Chevrolet hasn't looked that fast this year. It's likely that they're not getting nearly as much manufacturer support now that they're pivoting to Toyota next season. But Gragson still looked fast at Kansas last week before Ross Chastain moved him out of the way late in the race. Which, if you watched the race, then you got to see a nice post-race fight, which was fun between both Chastain and Gragson. But he looked fast at Kansas. He had a good run going. Further, his teammate Eric Jones actually won the Southern 500, which is the fall Darlington race last year. So this team has shown speed at this track. They have the talent and the notes and the crew chief's knowledge and know-how necessary, I think, to get a win, which they've proven. So we're going to back Gragson at 200 to 1. This number is just a little bit too long for me. Sure, he may not pull it off, but you can get him to get a top 10 at 6 to 1 at BetMGM too. That's ridiculous. The raw odds of the man getting a top 10 finish are somewhere like 27.7% because it's a 36 car field. So mental math plus 600. I think that means that's like what, 14-ish percent. So yeah, his odds of getting a top 10 just raw, like the raw mathematical probability of it, is around just a little bit over double or around a little under double. That I can't do in my head. So yeah, that's a great deal. I would lock that in at 6 to 1 at BetMGM. I'm pretty sure that number is 4 to 1 or plus 470 at other books. So yeah, great deal there. Lock that one in. Alrighty, let me pull this odds board out and we'll recap our picks real quick before I let you all go. First, it's going to be Chastain, 11 to 1 at Tipico, or if you're in Insider Access, you lock this in at 12 to 1. Second, it's going to be Byron at 10 to 1 at BetMGM. The price at Tipico was a little worse. I think it was plus 950. So make sure you are shopping around and getting the best deal. And lastly, it's going to be Gragson at 200 to 1 at Tipico. I think this is also trading at 200 to 1 at DraftKings and probably another couple of other books. So you can lock this in regardless of what state you're in. I love this play. I think Gregson has a much, much, much better shot than like the less than 1% chance the books are giving him. It's ridiculous. Great. So that's going to wrap this video up. Please like and subscribe if you found this content useful. And especially if you don't do it now, come back later when I win you some money to do it then. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you all next weekend. And as always, let's make some money.